And that's what's fucked up, though. That's what's fucked up. Because when you look at Nelk Boys, they can or if you look at Mr. B, Steven, I mean, Mr. B's success is determined by his thumbnails largely.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he just makes content that's so good that you kind of feel like a huge percentage of his fan base is just watching everything they upload. And I feel like Nelk Boys have that. And sometimes with No Jumper, I've kind of felt like we got a little too far away from that in the sense of like us uploading vlogs that are just maybe not interesting enough. And that's like, but you're constantly dealing with that as a content creator of like, do I want to go full quality or do I want to go quantity? Because, you know, with you, like, you could put out a video every week, or you could put out, you know, just like really wait until you 100% believe that that is the video. But then at the same time, it's like you got to pay rent. You feel like you have this obligation to your fans that you're going to have stuff coming out on a certain basis or certain schedule.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I thought about that too. Ideally, I would probably put out 2 videos a month and then go do stand-up and have other in-person comedy outlets. But right now, things are going well. I realized to keep growing on YouTube, at the very least, I got to put out 1 video a week.
Right.
And it's not like I'm in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm in the Sudan, dude. Life is good, even if I'm not always doing exactly what I want to do. And I have to keep my mind on the business of YouTube. And I have to get arrested at an occasional woman protest.
But I have to be real with myself about that sometimes, because it's like I'll have a week where I do 10 interviews and then I spend almost no time working on the actual business, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. That just is like kind of disturbing to me. And I'm like just having that conversation with my girl about Plug Talk too. It's like we take our responsibility of showing up and shooting the content so serious. And then meanwhile, we're kind of lackadaisical about focusing in on other parts of the business that realistically, because I know a lot of people who run real businesses that are not based on them making content. And you know what they do? They wake up every day and they actually work on the business because they don't have the option of just sitting in front of the camera and making content and being able to make some money and potentially get some new fans and stuff. But the reality is that in a lot of ways is just like you treading water in comparison to you really taking like big steps in terms of the business that you're building in the long run. And I'm constantly kind of wrestling with this now because in a lot of ways I look at like the last 10 years of my life or even before that, even since like 2006. And I'm like, you've made a lot of content, but there's got to be a lot more to building a business than making content. And there's got to be a point where there's diminishing returns on your content. And especially because I hold myself to a bizarre standard content-wise. Like a lot of times we're dropping multiple videos on the channel per day. I have a lot of weeks where I'm dropping 5, 6, 7 interviews in a week. It's just like that to me even seems like a more extreme version of procrastination because I'm kind of doing that much content instead of, again, just kind of focusing on the business itself.
Yeah, I just want to remind you that when you interview a 19-year-old rapper who describes his childhood as chill, and when you fuck Angela White in the ass on a couch,
I never did anything.
That's business, buddy.
That's a great idea, man.
You fucked her in the vagina?
Yeah, but just there's a big difference between doing business and making content. And when you look at the most successful people in this content space, when you look at Logan Paul, how much does he upload? Barely at all. He does the podcast like once a week. So he has that. You look at, you know, somebody like Jake Paul's killing it. He doesn't even upload to YouTube anymore. You look at Mr. Beast. He uploads, you know, every couple weeks, maybe once a month, whatever. But he has other channels and stuff that kind of like bring in more money and stuff. But his main channel, very infrequently. I was just watching.
But Jake Paul got rich through daily uploads, and Logan Paul daily uploads too.
But the money that they made off of those daily uploads is like nothing because they do huge brand deals and all this kind of stuff now.
He was getting 7 million views, Jake Paul, per video. Daily uploads for a while, which that AdSense money, that's generational wealth. If you do that for a couple of years.
But Jake Paul making like 50 grand off a video is fucking nothing when he's talking about him making like 10 million off a boxing match.
That's true.
Logan Paul, there's a reason why he doesn't feel the need to upload a lot to his YouTube channels because he's making so much money doing like brand deals and creating products and stuff. Like the product category. You see this when you look at the list of who's made the most money in rap. It's like all dudes who made hella money from creating products. It's like Burner with cookies. It's Dr. Dre with the headphones. It's fucking Kanye with the clothes. It's Jay-Z with all the management company and all the different businesses that he runs and stuff. So again, it's like content is good. Content is a good way to get to a certain level in life, but products and like building a real business, because that's what KSI does. This is what Logan Paul does. Like they built a big level of fame through doing content, and then they do business using the identity that they've created by making all this content. I think to like just make a ton of content and just act like that's the future of business. Like you have to make content, you have to keep the fans happy, but that's like I can't just like keep making content for another 10 years.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, once you become one of those legacy guys, like Nelk, for instance, Nelk uploads one video a month and it does 5 million views, but they've got their alcohol now, so they're set. You got to become one of those legacy dudes, though, by putting out a shit ton of content.
That's true.
And there are people who...
It's like that's one phase. The daily upload phase, or I would say you're kind of in that phase.
For sure.
I feel like I'm kind of like permanently trapped in that phase at this point, which I really don't have to be. Yeah, there's worse places to be. But
just giving girls pearl necklaces while your wife licks your ass on a couch.
You're doing the AD thing.
You oppressed
making everything about porn.
I'm sorry, man. I'll stop doing that.
But the fact that I don't know. It's just like I just feel like there's like another chapter. There's another level. I have to keep doing content, but it's just like there's definitely and it's weird because for me a lot of it goes to retail. It's like I just have to do a store again, but then at the same time there's so many good reasons to not do the store thing.
It's a balancing act, man.
Dangerous.
At the end of every week, I never feel satisfied. Like I got everything done. I always wish I would have been able to write a little bit more. Wish I would have been able to watch more comedy. Wish I would have been able to edit better. Wish I would have been able to stay out shooting a longer video. Wish I would have been able to work on that new merch design for a couple more hours.
Right.
But you have to give something up. Yeah. And as long as you're logging more hours than the average person or the average competent competitor in your space, you're going to get ahead. And years down the line, you're going to look back and you're going to be very successful.
This has been a clip from my new podcast, SledgeLords with Danny Mullen. We're dropping a new episode every week, so either hit the link in the description or search up the Adam22 channel on YouTube. Appreciate you guys.